So welcome to this tutorial on how to show you a case, how to make a PICO, and how to search the library database. So our case was a 5-year-old dairy cow. She had endometritis. Our treatment plan was to use an antibiotic, and we were going to either put it intrauterine or systemic. And what we want to do for the recovery of the cow is to clear up the vaginal discharge and return to cyclicity. So our PICO, our patient group is dairy cows with endometritis, which is there. We're going to compare intrauterine and systemic. Antibiotic is our intervention, and we're looking for recovery, clearing up vaginal discharge, or return to cyclicity. So in order to search these, we need to go into the university library database. So this is the library database page, and we want articles and databases. And firstly, we need to set the subject area. So in our case, it's veterinary sciences, and this will give us the number of databases. For our purposes this year, we'll just look at Webline, Web of Knowledge. We get into the Web of Knowledge database. So going back to our PICO, our patient group is cattle. So we put in all of the types and versions of that patient group we can. So cattle, or cows, could be cow or cows, so there's a star there, or bovid and bovidae, and that covers most of the papers that would include cattle. Now we're going to combine this with endometritis. In veterinary terms, there is no other version of this, so that's what we'll look at. So we'll search that as one history search. That's our patient group. As you can see, we've got 1,469 hits. So we go back to search, and now we'll key in antibiotic or antimicrobial, as these are the two terms most commonly used for antibiotics in publications. So we'll search again. Now this is going to include all of the papers that have antibiotics in them, including human ones. So there's over 1 million of those. Okay, we now want systemic or injectable. And the star is used to get injection, inject, and injectable, and injectables. All of those will be included with the star. Now we want another search for intrauterine. And we need a $sign here because some papers will have a hyphen, some will put them all as one word, and some will separate the two words, and that will get them all. So that's another search field. And finally, we can put in the outcome we're looking for, which is recovery or vaginal discharge. Those are the key words there. I've put them in speech bubbles so that it gets the two words together and not just all of the papers that include vaginal or discharge as separate words. And we can also have those return to cycling. And that could be cycling or cyclicity. And all of those are topics, so we just need to change that one there on the right. And search again. That's our outcomes. Again, we've got over 1.5 million hits. So now we do go back to our search history and start to combine them. So first off, just in case, we'll look at them all. So tick all of the boxes, and we want to use and it will combine them all. Okay, so that's got us approximately 6 papers that are targeted to our PICO search. So now we open those papers and look to see if they're relevant to our patient question. So the first paper indicates that it's comparing a treatment of ceftiofur or 2 doses of prostaglandin F2 alpha. The next one compares a type of seaweed treatment. We don't want that one, but it might be useful to look at the first one. The next one is a study of endometritis and repeat breeding. That could be useful to us, so we'll tick that one. So once we've ticked all of those, we can add those to various saves. So we can either save it in Web of Knowledge, or we can save it in EndNote Web. And then we can look at the papers in more detail. But as far as we're concerned, with this tutorial, all we need to do is look at the database and select our papers. And just to show you the relevance of this is a medical site where these searches have already been done. This site covers accident and emergency clinicians, and just to give you an example of a critically appraised topic, we can open up one of these to show you how they've done their search. So this critically applied topic was done by a consultant. She's made her patient question, so in healthy adults with dog bite wounds, do prophylactic antibiotics reduce the incidence of wound infection? And the case that generated this was a 30-year-old man that came in bitten by a dog. He has puncture wounds, she's cleaned them, she's dressed them, and now she wants to know whether or not to prescribe antibiotic. So she's quoted the search strategy, she's put in her Boolean search, and she's put in the database that she looked at. She's put in the search outcome, so she got 1 meta-analysis from that, which contained 8 papers. 120 papers were in the original search, but only 8 were relevant. And so she's looked at those papers and made a conclusion from that. And if another consultant is looking at someone with a dog bite wound, this answer may help them in how to treat it. So that's the relevance of why you're doing these database searches. So have fun, and I'll now present you with 2 cases in order to do your own PICOs and your own searches. Thank you for listening.